Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like these videos, please click like and subscribe, and if you click the little bell, you'll be notified of future videos. Here we have the hillbilly beast. Kind of looks like Bigfoot. What do you think is going on? They even have signs. Warning, hillbilly beast has been spotted in this area. Be aware. They have a creature they allegedly see called Goat Man. But tonight, we're going to talk about the Kentucky Goblin. Specifically, we're going to get into the Sutton case, which is unsolved to this day. Started out August 21st, 1955, 8 miles north of Hopkinsville, Kentucky. It's a mystery after over 60 years. The so-called Hopkinsville Goblins case was a sensational story at the time. Now it's faded into what's known mostly by UFO investigators and paranormal researchers. Billy Ray Taylor and his wife were visiting their friend Cecil Lucky Sutton and his family at the Sutton's mother, Jenny Langford's home. It was a small farmhouse located just outside of north of Hopkinsville with no running water. In all, there were 11 people inside of the home. About 7 p.m., Billy Ray went out to the well for a drink of water. While outside, he noticed an object moving in the sky. It was a bright, glowing disc. He watched the disc for a little while, and eventually it appeared to land out of his sight. He returned to the house and told others what he had seen. No one believed him, and they laughed it off as a shooting star. If, however, the story is to be believed, Billy Ray just witnessed the arrival of the Hopkinsville Goblins. As the group sat around the house, the dog started to bark, and then Glennie Langford, who was in the bedroom, screamed. Langford had seen a strange-looking creature peering in through the window. Billy Ray and Lucky Sutton grabbed guns, went outside. As soon as the two left, the bizarre creature was moving toward them. The thing was 3 to 4 feet tall, had long arms that almost touched the ground. You can imagine how scared these men were, as these goblins appeared to float off the ground, like they didn't even use their legs. They opened fire on the goblin. They were sure they hit the creature. One said it sounded like rattling in a can. But the gunshots didn't appear to harm the creature, but it did retreat to behind some trees. Then as the two stood on the porch, a clawed hand reached down from the roof and tried to grab one of the men. Billy Ray and Lucky then moved out from underneath the porch, looked up on the roof, more goblins, more gunfire, and it seemed to have no effect on the goblins. There were now goblins on the roof, in the trees, a dozen in all. The men watched as the goblins appeared to float from the roof and the trees to the ground and back up. At this point, the men decided to retreat, hopefully to the safety of their home. Because no doubt 11 people inside the house just wanted the goblins to go away, but no, they didn't. The Hopkinsville Goblins soon began peeking in the windows and doors, as if very curious. Clearly, the weapons the men had were totally ineffective on these creatures, but that didn't stop them from shooting more rounds through the windows and doors. By 11 o'clock p.m., the group decided they needed to escape. They ran to 2 cars and fled, heading for Hopkinsville. They arrived at the sheriff's office and spoke with Sheriff Russell Greenwell. Of course, Greenwell knew all of the people involved and could see they were truly terrified. Greenwell would later say, well, these were not the kind of people who could easily be scared. The sheriff and about a total of a dozen law enforcement officers descended on the home. The officers stayed on the scene until shortly after 2 a.m. During that time, they searched the area, spoke to witnesses, spoke to neighbors, and there was no sign of the goblins. They seemed to be just hiding, and soon after the officers left, they reappeared and tormented the people until 4:30 a.m., and then they seemed to disappear and never to be seen again. So what really happened in that small farmhouse? Many of the people involved in the original Goblin case are now dead, so the witness testimony is all they will ever have now. The closest neighbor told the police they did in fact see a strange light in the sky, but did not think it was any kind of craft, maybe just a meteor. They did hear the shots, but they only heard 4 shots. Lonnie Langford was in the house that night and did not see the goblins. He was just 12 years old at the time, and his mother forced him under the bed. Lonnie's nearly 70, and he says he remembers that night very well. Lots of screaming. So we're going to go to the tarot cards, and we are going to ask for some insights into this case to see if we can figure this out. Because obviously look at the bullet hole in that window. Ooh, this actually made the news, the little green men. So I'm going to first pull out my alien deck. And of course, we'll have to pull cards along with it because the alien deck is full of aliens. So the first thing we're going to do is ask the UFO tarot, were these aliens? Did the Sutton family actually see aliens? So I'm going to pull a couple cards and see what the UFO deck has to say about that. And of course, this is a UFO deck. And so here's an encounter. And ironically, the card that is pulled shows a man with a gun and 2 extraterrestrials. Now, isn't that interesting? And you've got flying saucers in the back. Wow. I call that interesting. So we'll pull another card and then we'll go to a regular tarot deck. And of course, the regular tarot deck, this is interesting, being watched, or they're doing some procedure on a human. So we're going to leave that there. And then we're going to ask the regular tarot deck. Now, the regular tarot deck really doesn't seem to be set up for alien encounters, but you can still sometimes draw from the symbols, and that's what we'll try to do. Did the Sutton family, were they actually invaded by aliens? I'm using the Robin Wood Tarot. This is a logical tarot deck. And here they are very focused on something, right? Something very physical happened, right? They're very, very focused on a disc, which would be a pentacle. They're very focused. And this does kind of give the layout of the land, a very remote area. And we'll pull another card and just see what the tarot has. This is the Fool. This is a major arcana. And this is very interesting because this has a little dog. This is about travelers, okay? So we actually have to pull another card because this is focused and this is traveler, focused on a traveler. So let's find out more about that traveler, shall we? Who was that? Running. Okay, so now this is interesting because allegedly these Kentucky Goblins are maybe 3 to 4 feet tall, okay? They're not very tall beings. Now, this is kind of some alien drawings here. And then in the tarot cards, we're coming up with the page cards, and children are very short beings, and this is very physical. And here, this one's running with a weapon. Not that the aliens had a weapon, but the humans felt like they had to run, right? They had to run away from something. And so I'm going to pick up another tarot deck and ask, what is it that they encountered that night? What would be the best way to describe what they encountered? So when you consult the tarot, your question is 90% of everything. So this is the sun. So and then we have another child on a horse. We're really getting a lot of childlike energy from this reading. So this is kind of interesting because the UFO seems to indicate that a human did encounter alien beings and crafts. And then we have all of these children cards. There's child, a child, a child. What's with the children? I'm going to ask the tarot cards, what's with the children? Why am I pulling so many children cards? This is creepy. Whatever deck this is, it's the Charioteer. Here's the outside. Oh, it looks like, my tablecloth. My tablecloth matches the back of this card to a T. Stranger things have happened, but that's pretty darn strange considering I just got this today in the mail. Never even realized I had a tarot deck that looked just like it. But nonetheless, let's get back to our subject. We have a charioteer from the sky. We have in the moon. Now that's weird. I didn't know that this tarot deck had a chariot card. Usually the chariot's on the ground. It's on the ground. This one's in the air from the sky by the moon. This is definitely, if the tarot had a way of saying that there's something coming from the sky, and now we have two horses in the deck, in the reading, and so they're traveling somehow. This, the horse is just representing a mode of travel, an unusual way. Like if you were to travel by horseback now, it'd be unusual because we don't do that. We're past those times. So this, I feel like the message here is the horse it's an unusual way to travel. And so here we have them coming from the sky. And so are they interested in the children? Are these beings from the sky? I'm going to go back to my UFO deck and I'm going to ask, are these beings interested? And when I shuffle, guys, I just go like this. I just do this. I kind of go back and forth, and then I just go this, and whatever one kind of I feel like pulling, this is what I do. Holy crap. They're interested in humans. Look at the human in the car back there, and they're all headed toward him. No wonder they were freaked out. But the beings seem more curious. They didn't seem to hurt them. Like there was no account of the beings hurting them. So maybe the beings were children? Is it possible that the beings were children? Naughty little alien children's. Hey, where were you guys? You were late for the spaceship. And, we were out, playing with our humans. This isn't funny, but I had to laugh. So this is definitely beings, and the humans are very aware. The humans are very aware of these beings. And there's, again, a glowing disc in the air. Okay, so the Kentucky Goblins appear, according to the cards, to be UFOs. Now, I want to ask another question. Is there anything else going on other than the Kentucky Goblins? And I'm going to ask my Haunted House Tarot this. Is there anything else going on down in these caves and this remote area in Kentucky? Is there any other activity going on? And I'm just going to word it like that. Any other activity? And we've got this looks like cloning. Twins, okay, pentacles. Twins wearing pentacles. So why are there twins wearing pentacles? Oh, wait, we've got the child theme going again. Right? Those are children. Yeah. Yes, those are children. What the heck is going on down there with children? That's children again. And here again, this is how I shuffle. I just go like this. I stop and I turn it over. That's how I shuffle, in case you want to know. So there's definitely beings. This is the Queen of Cups, but she appears in this deck as an angel. So there's definitely beings, not of this. Okay, so what this tarot deck is saying is there's definitely beings, okay? And they're not from here because we don't have humans with wings. We don't have humans with wings on their backs. That's what we kind of call angels. So there is some other being. Okay, what do these beings want? What do they want? What do these beings want? Obviously, there's children here, but what do they want? Who is this? This looks like the King of Wands. It's all these bats. Bats are in caves. Bats are in caves. And a lot of this is happening at night. And bats are in caves. So you have to kind of follow the clues. So so this is at night. This is in the caves. I am going to have to go back to my regular tarot deck, and this time I'm going to grab a new one, Universal Weight, and I'm going to ask, What's the purpose of these beings and the children? Why am I getting all these children? What is the purpose of this? We get another angel. Another being with wings. We've got two beings with wings. What are you trying to say here? We have to stop and we have to really look at the symbols that we're getting in. Stepping into water, in water, there's water involved. There's something to do with water involved and winged beings. And the way that this angelic being pours the water, it defies gravity. It defies the law. You can't pour water like that. The water would go straight down. It can't go at an angle like that. So these winged beings. And then here's a path. Here's a path. We've got to pull some more cards, but we definitely know these winged beings are important. And we can't tell the purpose. We can just see that these winged beings are very interested. I'm just going to keep pulling cards, you guys, to tell the story. I'm just like running out of questions here because my mind is not able to comprehend everything these cards are saying. So here's paying money. So there's some kind of money exchange, right? Something's being paid. There's money. There's money being paid. So when I ask what else is being done, there's beings and there's money being paid, and there's humans that are lower, like they're at a lower status. They're at a lower status, and there's like a leader there, like a leader, right? And there's money being paid. Okay. Woo. Trapping, like they're in boxes. Trapping. Here's the child showing up again. Everybody's in boxes. What's with these winged beings? Look at this. This whole reading is full of this winged being. Anna K. Are the winged beings, this is Anna K. Are the winged beings good or evil? Are they good or evil? This is Anna K. I'm asking. Are they good or evil? The winged beings. Well, it looks like this looks very sunny and light and good. And this is a Knight of Pentacles. So this makes me feel a little better. Like they're not evil. These beings are not evil, okay? Because this doesn't look evil. This doesn't look evil. It looks light. But he's in the mountains. Mountains and bright, and mountains, and it's very bright. We've got something, so there's something to do with the mountains. So, go back to the Robinwood. What do the people watching this, what do we have to know? What do we have to know about what these Kentucky Goblins? What is it that we have to know about them? They're very powerful. That's the Ace of Swords. They speak telepathically. The Ace of Swords is a telepathy card. So what is telepathy? It's like they can read your minds, or they can read your minds, but they're reading our minds. And they're changing DNA. Wait a minute. This is a DNA. This can be DNA. Wait a minute. What is DNA playing a role in this? All right, I better keep going with this. What is it? What's important about this? Well, this is interesting. So here's telepathy, and here we are focused on this. We're focused on the physical aspect of it. So we're focused on the physical aspect of these beings. What are they focused on? That's the real question. Deception. That's the moon. Now, even though we asked if they were good, we might have more than one thing going on here. There might be winged beings who are good. But what we have to know that comes with the telepathy card is deception. So we are being deceived. That's the moon, being deceived. What are we supposed to do about this? Is there anything that we can do about this? And here again, I just pull the cards like this. And just flip them over. Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups He's got protection on his head, but he's got a shell. He's got protection on his head. And this is actually a good card, but it's about messages, receiving messages. But these would be good messages from the Knight of Cups. These would be good messages. And then I've got the Four of Wands. This is a canopy. This is actually a really good card. So we've got to stick together on this. This is like sticking together and, just being aware of what's going on. I'm really concerned about this deception card, though. So I'm going to go back and ask the UFO Tarot. The UFO Tarot deck, is there something that these beings need us to know? We're talking to the aliens, I guess. We're talking to the goblins through the tarot. There's a hand coming up. What's he trying to say with the hand? Oh, wait a minute. What's on that hand? There's nothing really on the hand. I thought maybe there was a symbol on the hand. So they're waving. Well, okay. They're waving, and are they waving goodbye? Are they leaving? Are you waving goodbye? Are you going to leave? Why is he waving? So we're going to start seeing them in the cities. And they already are. There's already people seeing them in the cities. So, oh my goodness sakes. So I'm going to ask, and I'm just going to go back to I'm going to go back to Universal Weight, actually. I'm going to go back to this deck, and I'm going to say, is there something about the Kentucky Goblins? Is there something that we need to do? Is there any action that we need to take regarding the Kentucky Goblins situation? Is there any action we need to take? Now, we get the Fool again. We got the Fool card. We got the Fool way back in the beginning with this other deck. We got the Fool card back with this other deck. High in the mountains. High in the mountains. There's a dog. There's a dog high in the mountains. Overlooking. It's overlooking. Looking over things. Looking at things. Don't be foolish. This can be don't be foolish. And I'll pull another card. So don't be foolish, and this is kind of a card about protecting yourself, being protecting yourself. In other words, probably don't go out there by yourself. This is kind of protecting your chakras, protecting your crown chakra, your heart chakra. This is the card about, it's not the happiest card in the deck. It's kind of a crabby card. And I'm going to pull a couple more cards with the Universal Weight just to see what else comes up around this theme of the Kentucky Goblins. So this is the happy card. So I feel like there's a veil here, right? I feel like this cloth or whatever is a veil, and everything's getting lined up. Everything's getting lined up. But this is a very happy card. So I'm happy to see a happy card come out of this. And I'll pull one final card. And this is that there's not really anything to be done. The Hangman this is also about having faith in higher unseen things, like having faith that there's things going on. They don't necessarily have to always be bad, but there is this energy around the head, which brings me back to this telepathy. So now you guys let me know what your thoughts are. Maybe you will see something in the cards that I will have missed, and then you can comment below and we'll re-look at this. But the way I see it, there's a definite interest in children, okay? That's obvious. And there is deception going on. They're going to be seen more in cities. We're going to start seeing them more in cities. And this is kind of like suspension. There's nothing to be really done right now. It's all in the state of being. It's all in your state of being. This also has to do with seeing things from another perspective. So there's another way to look at this than what we're maybe seeing. Maybe there's another aspect of this that even the tarot cards can't, fully address. That being said, it is very, very interesting. It does look like they actually had a physical phenomena happen. But I like the card. I love the Nine of Cups, meaning that there's going to be more order to it. And this is actually a happy card. The Four of Wands is a very good card. So you guys, I don't want to leave you with fear about this. I actually have to tell you that even with the deception and this mind reading or telepathy, I feel good about this. I feel good about this. So I'm going to say the Kentucky Goblins, I don't believe that they're out there to harm anyone. They could be childlike. Maybe they're childlike, aliens or something. And maybe they're just very curious. I'm not sure about, everything about their personality and that, but I do believe this was a real event. And I do think we have to look at this from another perspective. So, I was going to ask, is there anybody who has really figured out who the Kentucky Goblins are? And that would mean anybody, military, government, human beings that are just normal human beings and not of any stature. Is anybody fully aware of who these Kentucky Goblins are? King of Swords. So, the King of Swords is the king. He's the master of the suit. He's the master of the suit. Folks, there are people in high up positions that are fully aware of who the Kentucky Goblins are and what is going on, because this is the King of Swords. So we can be sure that there are people, the king is in a higher position, who are fully aware of what is going on. And that, my friends, is my interpretation of this. Please leave your comments and thoughts and we'll kind of have a discussion around what you guys think about this. Thank you for joining me.